Recently, I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. The main reason I started watching it was the Sword Tour community. There was always the comparison of Zuko and Arkin or Vaylin and Azula. I noticed these similarities, but I also noticed key differences. I'll be comparing Vaylin and Azula, starting with the relationship of their family. Azula was the fire-bending prodigy that Ozai, her father, always wanted. She was cunning, intelligent, and ambitious. She took every lesson Ozai gave her and embedded it in her heart. Love is a weakness, and fear is needed to control others. Growing up, she always got an approval from her father and scolded by her mother. Due to this, she displayed the cruelness of her father. She was cruel towards animals and fantasized about members of her family dying. Not saying that her cruelty is purely on Ozai, but I believe that he was a huge contributing factor to it. She feared being the one that had to face Ozai's wrath, which was part of the reason why she told Ozai that Zuko was the one that killed the Avatar. As long as she was perfect, she had nothing to fear. Azula was only a weapon to Ozai, a means to an end, and easily casted aside when no longer needed. This is why he left her alone in the Fire Nation during Susan's comment. It is unclear how Valkorion treated Vaylin in her early years. I imagine it was similar to how he saw her older brothers. So he watched Vaylin from far away, waiting for her to become old enough to be trained. Vaylin was extremely powerful in the Force on the level of Valkorion himself and unpredictable. She gained power from her frustration and anger. This led to Sunya seeking Valkorion's help. Valkorion, realizing how much of a threat Vaylin was to him, locked her away on Nathema, a planet completely void of life and the Force. There, she was experimented on, and her power and personality was locked away. Vaylin was brainwashed into obeying the command, kneel before the dragon of Zakuul. Sunya tried to take her children away from Valkorion, but they chose him. After her time on Nathema, Vaylin was cruel, taking pleasure in killing and hurting others. This was only encouraged by Valkorion and her brother Arkin. Azula didn't have a good relationship with her mother. Ursa encouraged kindness and love, traits that Azula was not naturally inclined towards. This caused many confrontations, especially with Ozai encouraging her behavior. This didn't mean that Ursa didn't love her daughter, nor would she raise a hand to her. Since I have not read any of the graphic novels, and the flashbacks center on Zuko, I can't say much about their relationship. At the end of the series, Azula's mind broke. She began to hallucinate her mother. She didn't understand how love could be more powerful than fear, first with May and Ty Lee, and now with her mother. Vaylin was close to her mother, Sunya, as a child. Sunya seemed to be mostly in charge of raising Vaylin. Sunya encouraged Vaylin to rely more on herself and the Force and try to train her. In the end, this ended up being disastrous when Vaylin, in a fit of frustration, injured, possibly killed a Zakuulan knight. In fear of her daughter's power, she went to Valkorion for help, locked away their daughter. Sunya tried to rescue Vaylin and her brothers Arkin and Thexan from Valkorion. In the end, they chose him. While locked away on Nathema, Vaylin had time to think about her mother, especially the look of fear that was on her face. This festered, making her think her mother always hated her, that she saw Vaylin as a monster. Azula and Zuko always had a complicated relationship. Azula tended to manipulate and hurt Zuko at a young age, so much so that he had to keep telling himself, Azula always lies. Azula always mocked and looked down on her older brother's abilities. Despite all that, it was shown that deep down, both Azula and Zuko cared about each other. For example, during the episode The Beach, Azula goes looking for Zuko and makes him come back to the group. Vaylin's relationship with Vexen and Arkan when they were younger wasn't really shown, but based on this clip in the trailer, it is clear that Vaylin desired to be like her older brothers. While she was on Nathema, Vaylin developed a close relationship with Vexen. This was because he was the only one that visited her there. Ares attempted to use their relationship to manipulate Vaylin while she was locked up on Iopath. Though Vaylin did have a great gratitude to Arkan for taking her away from Nathema. Though throughout Arkan's reign, the two siblings argued and bickered, trying to get a rise out of each other. Though when Arkan chooses to go with Simya, this angers Vaylin enough that she would try to kill him, even when he was injured. I will give a general basis of their psychology. I'm not going to go too far in depth because I do not know psychology, and for Azula there's already a really in-depth look. If you're interested, watch The Psychology of Azula, Avatar The Last Airbender by Hello Future Me, link in the description below. If there's enough desire, then I'll try to make a psychological analysis of Vaylin. Azula as a child lacked empathy. She is cruel and calculating. She uses manipulation and fear to keep her enemies and allies in line. The idea that love is more powerful than fear is what starts to break her. She is also extremely patient and deceptive. She wants power and perfection. Vaylin is cruel and impulsive. She relies purely on her emotions, especially her anger and frustration. She rarely thinks things through, causing many failures and her death in the game. She wants to be the one in control instead of the other way around. Azula and Vaylin play the same role in their respective stories, but are two completely different characters. One is a teenager who was driven insane by the constant search for perfection and control, and the other is a character that was mind-controlled and desired freedom and control above all else. To say they are similar is right, but also wrong. One wanted to remain on their father's good side, and the other wanted freedom. So what did you guys think? If you liked this video, give it a like so I know to do more. Leave in the comments what type of video you guys will like. I'm thinking of doing a comparison video of Arkan and Zuko, or whether or not Vaylin or Azula should have a redemption arc. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.